Shalom. How y'all doing? White Raptor News Ministries. All praise and glory to the mighty Most High, our Creator, who's one. The Spirit which moves all things in place. The visible and invisible, the seen and unseen, the Almighty, the Spirit of truth, the living God, the Redeemer, the Savior. Okay? Not Jesus. You don't get Jesus in this room here. What you get is the truth. Okay? This channel here teaches the truth. Okay? I'm a far variation off from Christianity, but I tell you, if you hear both sides of the arguments, this is what is imparable to anybody understanding. You can't know the truth if you only know one side. So let's jump in. Genesis 27. When Isaac was old and his eyes were weak, that he could no longer see, he called for Esau and said to him, "My son." "Here I am," he answered. Isaac said, "I am now an old man and don't know the day of my death. Now then, get your equipment, your quiver and bow, and go out to the open country to hunt some wild game for me. Prepare me the kind of tasty food I like and bring it to me to eat, so that I may give you my blessings before I die." Now Rebekah was listening to Isaac as he spoke to his son Esau. When Esau left for the open country to hunt game and bring it back, Rebekah said to Jacob, "Look, I overheard your father say to your brother Esau, bring me some game and prepare me some tasty food to eat, so that I may give you my blessings before the Lord before I die." Upright families, folks. People walking straight with God. These are people who are blessed by the Most High. "Now, my son, listen closely. Do what I tell you." Oh, did I just get... Oh, Illuminati, did I just do that? Do as I tell you. "Do as I tell you before the Lord I die. Now, my son, listen closely and do what I tell you. Go to the flock. Bring me a choice young goat, so that I can prepare some tasty food for your father, just the way he likes it. Then take it to your father so he can eat, so that he may give you his blessings before he dies." Jacob said to his mother, "But my brother Esau is a hairy man, while I have smooth skin. What if my father touches me? I would bring down a curse on myself rather than a blessing." So, any conscious person on the face of the earth, right, would know that there's a little bit of shadiness going on. Okay, so that when he went down, okay, hold on, "Just do what I said," Rebekah says. "Go and get them for me." So he went out, got them, and brought them to the mother, and prepared some tasty food, just the way he liked it. Okay, folks, I gotta ask you something. Seriously. Think about it. Does that sound upright? Okay? You got a mother who's conspiring with the youngest son to get a blessing. Clearly, blessings during this period of time are some serious blessings. Then Rebekah, to the best clothes of her son. Then Rebekah brought to the best clothes of her son. Give me a second here. A two-letter error. See how that can screw up an entire. Then Rebekah took the best clothes of her son, Esau, her older son, which she had in the house, and gave and put them on her younger son Jacob. You got to know at this point in time that the son's got to really be thinking, wow, man, come on. Mom? Really? Huh? And he ain't questioning it. He's not doing anything again. He's not speaking out against it. Clearly, that's a son under the gun, right? She also covered his hands and the smooth part of his neck with goat skin. Then she handed her son Jacob the tasty food and bread that she had made. He went to his father and said, "My father." "Yes, my son," he answered. "Who is it?" Jacob said to his father, "I am Esau, your firstborn." Boom. He has just went through and conspired with his mother. And he just told a big fat lie. Men of God, this is the one that's turned Israel. I know that Hebrews, they probably don't like looking at that, but isn't that a questionable? I'm just reading the obvious. You got a mother now conspiring with the son to steal an older son's blessing. He just lied. That makes him a liar, is what I'm pointing out. Jacob lied to his father. Rebekah's lying. They're conspiring. They're doing some shady stuff. All right? Okay. She also covered his hands, right? Covers him all up. Then she handed her son Jacob the tasty food and bread and she had made and sent him on his way. He went to the father and said, "My father." "Yes, my son," he answered. "Who is it?" Jacob said to his father, "I am Esau, your firstborn." I'm sorry, I'm supposed to mark these so I know where I'm at, so I don't double read if I remember to mark it. "I have done as you have asked and told me. Please sit up and eat some of my game so that you may give me your blessing." Isaac asked his son, "How did you find it so quickly, my son?" "The Lord your God." Oh, hold on. Hold on. How come not the Lord their God? Not the Lord. How come it's not the Lord our God? That's a separate. Do you understand what I'm saying? That this is a separate difference here between your God and our God. The Lord our God, Father, bless me. I just happened to walk out into the field and bam, there it was. Why doesn't it say the Lord our God? Instead of the Lord your God has granted me success. He replied, had granted me success. He replied, "Then Isaac said to Jacob, 'Come near me so that I can touch you.'" Now this is also kind of shady. Come on. How old are these kids now? You mean to tell me you're blind? Your ears become more sharp as you lose sight. All your other senses come in to a higher vibration where you can hear better. Okay, you recognize things better, you smell better. Okay? If Isaac was losing his eyesight, then his ears would have become more, unless he's Helen Keller style. But it doesn't say that, huh? It's only saying that he lost his sight. So my argument also here is that you could put 15 people outside this door right here, and you could have them all sit there and talk and talk and talk and say the same thing over and over, and I could spot my dad's voice over any other voice in there, is what my point. So I'm pretty sure that a little common sense, that Isaac wouldn't have been so out of his mind that he wouldn't have recognized one of his children's voice from the other child's voice. Just another observation that I'm making. Okay. So he's asking him to come near him so he can touch him, and that within itself kind of sounds gay to me. Come let me kiss you on the cheek would be better than let me touch you. Come let me touch you, my son, to know if you are really my son. Like I said, you'd know from his voice. Okay? He's around his kids all the time, man. He knows one child's voice from another child's voice. I'm almost absolutely sure of that. Let's go ahead and jump into part 2 here. Give me a second. Picking back up at 22. Jacob went close to his father Isaac, who touched him and said, "The voice is the voice of Jacob." That makes sense to me. So right then on the spot, would you second guess yourself? This is not Esau. What are you doing, Jacob? I may not be able to see, but I got ears to hear. Right? But the hands are the hands of Esau. He did not recognize him because his hands were hairy, like those of his father or his brother Esau. So you mean to tell me that his brother Esau's hands have felt like an animal? You can't tell the difference between an animal hair covering your hands and a person having hairy hands or hair on his knuckles or something like that? Huh? Then he said, "Are you really my son Esau?" he asked. "I am," he replied. Now that's 2 times. Jacob straight up again. It's amazing that all the prophets seem to be able to lie. They seem to be able to lay down with their parents, put away their wives. These people that are gods seem to be able to, in Sodom and Gomorrah, where we've already passed, rape men. I mean, what got on that ark? What got on that ark? You're to bring 2 of every kind, of every beast of the field. When you go back and you read the beast of the field. Yeah. Could have that been a male and female from each nation? If there were, 100, 200 nations, then you'd have 600 people. But even 600 people, folks, even a crew of 600 people couldn't have fed 3 million animals and cleaned up all the shit. You understand, it takes a crew of 200 kitchen crew to feed an aircraft carrier of crew in different kitchens all over the ship to feed 4,000 or 5,000 crew members. You need 1 man to feed probably 20 soldiers. Even if he was capable of doing 30, each meal. You got to understand, that's a lot for 1 person in the kitchen to cook breakfast, lunch, and dinner for 20 people every meal. It's a lot to be taken into account there. So he said, "Yeah, I'm really your son." And then he said, "My son, bring me some of your game to eat so that I may give you my blessing." Jacob brought it to him and he ate. And he brought him some wine and drank. Well, there you go. That there for me. Red flag. Men of God. Men of God, don't drink. Why is Isaac drinking? Later on in the Bible, you're going to see a lot of parables that say, have your brother drink when he's dying on the bed. Don't have your brother drink when he's dying on the bed. It's so crazy. I mean, I see it all now. That's why I'm here to point all this stuff out to you folks. The inconsistency. And he drank. So Isaac got a little bit buzzed that night, man. Got a little bit tipsy, brother. Pour me another glass of wine, my son. Then his father Isaac said to him, come here, my son, and kiss me. Bend down, kiss me. So he went to him and kissed him. When Isaac caught the smell of his clothes, he blessed him and said, ah, the smell of my son is like the smell of the field that the Lord has blessed. May God give you the heavens dew and earth's richness and abundance of grain and new wine. Blessing his son with new wine. Don't know about that, folks. May nations serve you and people bow down to you. Be Lord over your brothers, and may the sons of your mothers bow down to you. May those who curse you be cursed. Those who curse you be cursed, which are the Gentile, and those that bless you be blessed. So if a Gentile blesses God's chosen children, then the Gentile will be blessed. After Isaac finished blessing him and Jacob was scarcely left his father's presence, scarcely. I mean, that's like Jacob walking out and the son walking in. Okay? Scarcely. Also not, only just. Her voice is so low I can scarcely hear what she is saying. Only a very short time before, she had scarcely dismounted before the door swung open. That's pretty quick. That's like Jacob probably wiping the sweat off his brow. Wow, I just got out of there just in time. Whew, Mom. You wouldn't believe it, man. Just as Dad blessed me, man, Jacob or Esau walked in the door. Scarcely left his father's presence, his brother Esau came in from hunting. He prepared some tasty food and brought it to his father. Then he said to him, my father, please sit up and eat some of my game. So I thought same. Eat some of my game so that you may give me your blessings. His father Isaac asked him, who are you? I am your son, he answered, your firstborn, Esau. Wow. Well, it does go on to say that he does get extremely pissed off, but my point here is that if the father had favoritism for Esau, and Jacob had received the blessings by doing something a little bit shady, it seems like nobody gets punished. You can go ahead and screw somebody over, you know. My point here, Jacob is just upset about that he's not going to say, go get your son and bring his ass in here, man. Get him in here. Go get him. Right? No. Oh, he'll be blessed. He stole his brother's birthright. I guess that was his punishment for telling his brother, man, give me your birthright for this bowl of stew, which I don't buy into either. This is a hunter. This is a strong man. This is a man of the field. This is someone who ain't going to take any shit. I told you that in the last lesson. He comes in, he asks for a bowl of soup, man. You serve him the bowl of soup. You don't say, sell me your birthright, and much less does a nitwit like that sell his birthright. You beat the shit out of your brother and you pour yourself your own bowl of soup. Is he that weak of a man he can't come in if it's on the stove and just go over there and make his own meal? Come on, folks. Use a little bit of common sense, man. What's going on? Let's get into the end. Let's finish up here. Okay, the angle may have changed here. I had to plug in my computer as my battery was dying. So, picking up at 33, Genesis chapter 27, Isaac trembled violently and said, "Who was it then that hunted game and brought it to me? I ate it just before you came, and I blessed him, and indeed he will be blessed." When Esau heard his father's words, he burst out with a loud, bitter cry and said to his father, "Bless me, me too, father." But he said, "Your brother came with deceit and took your blessing." Okay, well, if right then on the spot that Isaac knew that his brother came with deceit and took a blessing, what's wrong with taking that blessing back? You find out that somebody's done something dishonestly, you take it back. What? Like I said earlier, man, go get him. Go bring his ass in. Go bring Jacob's ass in here, man. What do you mean he deceived me? Why wouldn't he take back the blessing? Why would he continue saying, "Oh, you know what? Too bad for you. Oh, seems like everybody that I've been reading about, the more you screw people over, that's how you get rich. Seems like kings like to bless people who lie to them and give them donkeys and lambs and cattle and manservants and women servants. All you got to do is walk through a town with a beautiful woman, whether or kill your wife and say, 'She's my sister.'" Shit, you guys are just whacked out on these stories, man. But he said, "Your brother came with deceit and took your blessing." Deceit. He came with deceit. Esau said, "Is it not his name rightfully Jacob?" Which makes a lot of sense to me. Well, Dad, man, if you blessed Jacob under the pretense that you are blessing me, then that blessing really is my blessing. It's not Jacob's blessing. He's just in the flesh. Right? Wouldn't that be? He thought he was blessing Jacob. So, he's calling Jacob by a different name, then that blessing wouldn't stand. I wouldn't think. This is the second time Esau said, is not his name rightfully Jacob? This is the second time he has taken advantage of me. Well, sorry. This time here was with deceit. Okay, but for him to say to his brother after coming home from the fields, "Sell me your birthright for a bowl of soup and bread," would have done nothing but pull my bow off of my shoulder and battered my brother over the top of the head and just went and poured myself some soup. I don't need my brother to pour me a bowl of soup if it's sitting right there on the stove or if it's in his hand. That makes no sense. Come on, folks. These stories are weak, man, if you can't see that. They're crooked as shit. These stories are crooked. These prophets and these women of the prophets, man, have all been written in this Bible like dirt bags. You got Rebekah conning, telling her son to lie, going there, cover himself up, conspiring. You got the son lying to Isaac. You got all this conspiring going on. You got continuing more conspiring going on. So I don't believe that anyone took advantage of him when it came to his birthright. He was just a dumb person, if there's any truth to it, who believes anything. I don't know what to believe in this Bible. I tell you what I do know what to believe. One, what the stories say in the Bible don't mean anything as long as you are brought to the understanding that the Creator is one God and He says serve Him and Him alone. he then asked, haven't you reserved any blessings for me? In that case, it would have been like, well, did you reserve any blessings for Jacob? I mean, he stole my blessings. What blessings did you have for Jacob? Then you'd know you're screwed, where you'd be like, well, I really didn't have any blessings for my other younger son. I had all the blessings for you. Is also, what is this showing you? Everybody has a pecking order here. There's a chain for everybody, it seems. Esau is loved by his father Isaac. Jacob is loved by the deceptive wife, by the deceptive younger son. That's deception, folks. You understand? This man was blessed by deception. Yeah. Isaac answered Esau, I have made him Lord over you. Boy, I'll tell you right there, that would have steamed my ass up right there, just having to listen to that, man. I would have been pulling the bow at him. Where are you at? Where are you at, Jacob? I'm going to put a freaking arrow right through your throat, motherfucker. Sorry for the language, but that's how I would have felt. To have to sit there and listen to your dad say that to you. He'll rule over you. I have made him Lord over you. Also, keep telling you. So now we have the word Lord here. We absolutely know that this is not the self-existing, eternal Creator. Okay? It's a lowercase Lord. I have made him Lord over you. Lords beside Lord of Lords, King of Kings. There's only one Lord. There's only one Creator. Okay, I was having a discussion with a friend of mine over the phone. And the bottom line is the Lord, the self-existing eternal Creator, says that he is one God. So Satan can't exist. So what does that mean? If there's literally anybody to be as a Satan, what would it be? The flesh. Okay? Those that live carnally in the flesh. The United Nations, the beasts of the field, created each according to their kind. So as you can see, this is a lowercase Lord, which is a controller. It's a sire. Okay? It's a master. Okay? Of this realm here. This Lord is a master of this realm here. Okay? It is not the supreme, right? Anybody could agree right here, right now, that this is not the Creator we're talking about when it says, I have made him Lord over you. Because this is a man. This is Jacob we're talking about. Okay? He made Jacob a Lord over him. Jacob is a lowercase Lord again. And as we get a little closer into the word, Jacob here is what? Jacob is Israel. Okay? Is, Ra, El. That there is a Trinity. Israel. Just saying. The Lord over you, I have made all his relatives servants. Servants. Servants are slaves. I don't deal well with slaves. Or I don't deal with masters. And I don't deal well with sires and people that are in powerful positions and think that they're above. God says it's easier for a man to pass through the eye of the needle than it is it is easier for a camel to pass through the eye of the needle than it is for a rich man to enter into the kingdom of heaven. So, I'd have to say that the chances of people getting into the kingdom of heaven that are rich are pretty damn slim, folks. Slim to none. And I have sustained him with grain and new wine. God don't do wine. Have a clear mind, God says. Why is he blessing him with new wine? So what can I possibly do for you, my son? Well, you can call his ass back here in the room and say, hey, man, Jacob, get your ass in here. You know? Wouldn't you be like that? You'd be like a little kid on the side knowing, oh, Dad's going to rip his ass up now, man. Like Snicky, hey, right? You'd be like that. Because that's the way kids are. The one's going to gloat over the other one, huh? But that didn't turn out, huh? It seems like when you're deceitful in this plane of existence, that's what pays good for you. Jacob gets all the blessings by doing things that are deceitful. That, for some reason doesn't sit well with me. Truly, it doesn't. Esau said to his father, "Do you have only one blessing, my father? Bless me too, my father." Then Esau wept aloud. His father Isaac answered him, "Your dwelling shall be away from the earth's richness, away from the dew in the heaven above. You will live by the sword, and you will serve your brother. But when you grow restless, you will throw his yoke from your neck." So what's channeling through me on this right now is that when the Creator says that Jacob will live by the sword, he has given Jacob the sword to serve his brother. You understand? Serve his brother in the fight against whatever may be evil on this plane of existence. Okay? But when you grow restless, you will throw his yoke from his neck. You will free him. Esau is going to be the one that frees God's chosen children. You guys don't have any choice in the matter, man. When it comes that time, the Spirit is going to make you, he's going to make you remove the yoke, remove this slave system that we're all born into. All of us are equally born into a slave system with all the temptation that there is out there in the world. Esau held a grudge against Jacob because of the blessings his father had given him. He said to himself, "I will pay anybody $10,000 cash." I'm thinking something to myself here right now. What am I thinking? I'm thinking something to myself. If you guessed that I was thinking to myself that this whole story sounds like bullshit, send me your address. You got $10,000 coming. Okay. So yeah, he had a blessing against a grudge against his father. He said to himself, "The days of mourning for my dad are soon to be near. His dad's ready to die. Then I will kill my brother Jacob." Remember, he said this to himself. He didn't say it out loud to anybody. He didn't tell one of his servants over there of Jacob. He didn't tell the cook in the kitchen. He didn't tell anybody. He said it to himself. So the bigger question to ask then is, if he said this to himself, how is it that when Rebekah was told of what her older son said, well, hold on. He said it to himself. Didn't say he said it out loud to anybody else. It says that he said it to himself. So how did Rebekah receive word of what the older son said? Like I said, man, if you had guessed that I'm thinking that this whole fucking story here sounds like a shit show, then you would have guessed properly. You would have read my mind. Because that's what this is. These stories are a bunch of shit shows, man. Rebekah is a conniving little wench, it's starting to sound like, huh? And it gets better, too. She's not even done yet. When Rebekah was told of what her older son said, which he didn't say anything because he thought it. He said it to himself. Oh, was he talking? I'm going to kill that motherfucker. Well, if he's anything like me, that's what it would have been like. That's what it would. I'll kill my motherfucking brother. I'm gonna put an arrow right to him. That, yeah. If he's talking out loud to himself like that, he could be. All right. So he said to himself that way, out loudly, that his mother heard him. But I don't know, man. Speaking something out loud like that, man, I'm pretty sure that you are making sure that you are in earshot of no one that could hear you plan or speak out openly that you're going to kill your own brother. Rebekah was told of what her older son said. She sent for the younger son and said to him, "Your brother Esau is planning to avenge himself by killing you. Now then, my son, do what I say. Flee at once to my brother Laban in Haran. Stay with him a while until your brother's anger subsides." Well, I don't know. I imagine 20, 30 years, yeah. I mean, I was angry for my brother for a while, man. We hadn't talked for 10 years. So yeah, you can bitterly hold a grudge for somebody a long ass time, man, when they've done something that was so bitter and evil to you, man. Right? So, now then, my son, do what I say. Flee. Okay? Stay a while until your brother's anger subsides. When your brother is no longer angry with you and forgets what you did. Oh my goodness gracious. Look at this. She's talking to her son now, and she's saying, when your brother forgets what you did, holding herself for zero accountability for anything happened. Not what we did. Go to my brother's house until your brother's anger subsides from what we've done. No, she straight out laid it on Jacob's shoulders, the whole mess. Clearly, you don't see no we there. So that's kind of chintzy, huh? Forgets what you did to him. Like her hand wasn't in any of this at all. I just told you to put some clothes on. Cokes. It's amazing how people can steer you in directions on this plane of existence. I'll send word for you to come back from there. Why should I lose both of you in one day? Yeah, why? Because of your crookedness. Because of things that she did. She's the one that got this snowball rolling. She's the one that did all this. She's the one that conspired. She's the one that lied. She's the one that told Jacob to do some shady stuff. Okay? Maybe this is why the Hebrews get so angry with me reading this whole Bible and writing it out for you now like this, man. Because you can clearly see that this is a shit show written inside of this Bible. This is a shit show if you've never seen it. So they don't, because the Hebrew, one of the Hebrews that was giving me shit was telling me that this Bible is a perfect manuscript. Perfect manuscript. It's a copy of a copy of a copy, 1,000 times copy. How can it be a perfect manuscript when we know pieces have been taken out and pieces have been added to this book? So if you're a Hebrew and you're saying that this is a perfect book and that it's untampered with, you ain't no Hebrew and you don't know how to read the Bible. I can tell you that straight up. Then, this is where she begins more. Then Rebekah said to Isaac, "Oh, I'm so disgusted with living because of the Hittite women here. If Jacob take a wife among the women of the land from Hittite women like these, my life will be worthless. It won't be worth living." So she's getting ready. She's trying to manipulate a way so that she can send her son off now, trying to protect him. So that's chapter 27, folks. And it was a pretty lengthy chapter, actually. So I'm glad that we're finished here. And all praise and glory to the Most High. Man, bow your heads and let's pray. Our Creator, the Spirit which moves all things in place. I humbly submit to you every cell, every fiber that comprises me of flesh, every ounce of blood that pumps through my veins. I lay down before you humbly, in great grief, sorrow, and mourning of my transgressions against your laws and your commandments. Please keep your Spirit upon me, Lord. If you have put your Spirit upon me, please never leave me. Even though I know that none of us can walk completely a straight line in presence of the flesh. But we're trying to do a better job, Lord. And I ask anybody that may be listening to this for you to ask the Spirit to place His Spirit of truth upon you so that you may find discernment and have Him remove the scales from your eyes so that you may find understanding, truth, and enlightenment. I ask all these things only in my Creator, the self-existing, eternal One, a Spirit. This is White Raptor News Ministries. Shalom. Have a great day.